Hello everyone, my name is Mina Gerkes. I'm a medical doctor in Australia. I'm Coptic Christian Orthodox, um, so I belong to the Coptic Orthodox Church in Egypt. In today's episode of Christianity Simplified, we're going to talk about what's the Bible. In the Christian belief, the whole Bible content is inspired by God. The Bible is a collection of 66 books. The Bible was written over 1,600 years. It has been written by more than 40 writers or authors. These authors were from different backgrounds. Some of them were herdsmen, some were political leaders, one was a physician, some were tax collectors, some were fishermen, one was a scholar. Also, the Bible was written in different places. So it was written in 3 continents: Asia, Africa, and Europe. If we look at the Bible, we will notice that it's actually divided into 2 main divisions. The Old Testament, so the word testament means covenant or contract, and it simply means contract with God. So the Old Testament is the start of the Bible from creation, and it goes all the way until before Christ's time. The Old Testament is identical to the holy writings of the Jews. The New Testament starts from Jesus' birth onwards. So duration-wise, the Old Testament has been written in the period from around 1500 BC to roughly 400 BC, while the New Testament has been written between 40 AD and 95 AD. The first books which were written in the New Testament were some of the letters of St. Paul, and the last writings in the New Testament were the Book of Revelation, which was written around 96 AD. The first complete copy of the New Testament was collected and ready by early 2nd century. So it was roughly 100 years from Jesus' time. If we look at the Bible as a book, it's the most widely published book worldwide, and it has been the most read book in the human history. Looking at the original languages of the Bible, the original language of the Old Testament was Hebrew. As I mentioned, it was mainly written by the prophets in the Old Testament, and these prophets were from the Jewish time. The original language of the New Testament was Greek. Eventually, the Bible was translated to many languages, but the early translations were to Aramaic, Latin, Syrian language, and Coptic language. Again, if we look at the Bible, it's the most translated book in human history. So the Bible has been translated so far to 518 languages. Again, it was the first book in history which was printed using the printing press, and the first part of the Bible which was printed was the Book of Psalms, and that was in 1454 AD. Are there old manuscripts for the Bible? There is many. And all these old manuscripts are identical to the current Bibles which we have in our hands. But I will talk today about two main manuscripts. The Alexandrian manuscript, this was written in Alexandria. It was written in a Greek language. It was written in 328 AD. But it was transferred from Egypt to Vatican in some time which is undetermined in history. And at the moment it's staying in the Vatican, where the Catholic Church is keeping that manuscript. This manuscript contained most of the Old Testament and all the New Testament except the three letters for St. John the Disciple and the Book of Revelation. The other manuscript which is important is the Byzantine manuscript that was named after Byzantia, which is currently Istanbul. That manuscript was again written in the Greek language. Again, it was originally found in Egypt, and it goes back to the 5th century. That manuscript was transferred by the Greek Orthodox Pope in 1620 AD, and it was transferred to the city of Byzantia, which is currently Istanbul. It also seems that this manuscript was the one which was used to translate the Bible to English. Going also to talk today about some different translations of the Bible in English. The reason for that is that I want to highlight that some of these English translations are accurate and accepted, and some of them are not. So if we refer back to the King James Version, KJV, the English Standard Version, which is ESV, and the New American Standard Bible, which is NASB versions, all these versions are word-for-word translation to English, and they are accurate and very accepted translations of the Bible. Again, if we refer to the New Living Translation, the NLT, that translation to English is not word by word or word for word, but it's simply translating the meaning of the whole phrase or the whole sentence and the concept of it. But again, it's an accepted translation, and it's very accurate to a great degree. The ones I would like to highlight from now on are the ones which are not that accepted for different reasons. One translation is the Good News Bible. Unfortunately, that's not an accurate translation. It's simply sort of so free that it's pretty much like a stories from the Bible. But it's not a word-for-word translation, and it's not an accurate translation of the whole phrase. Another translation is the New World Translation. Actually, that was produced by Jehovah's Witnesses, who are not Christians. And as you expect from Jehovah's Witnesses, this translation was altered and corrupted, and is definitely not reflecting the original scriptures in the Bible. I also want to talk about a relatively new version of the Bible which was published in 2012. It's called the Queen James Version, and that's actually a translation which correspond and relate well with the King James Version, except that in this version there was a change in all the verses which was condemning or against homosexuality. And definitely that's considered a corrupted scripture because it doesn't match what the Bible state in regard to homosexuality issue. I know that some of you would like to ask, okay, we know that now, so has the Bible been altered or changed? Simply, apart from these English translations we talked about, we are not aware of any other changes. And when we come across any change, we are saying it at the moment. But I'm going to talk in the next episode about this subject for people who attack the Bible and say it has been altered. So I'm going to reply that in the next episode. I hope you stay with us. I wish you all the best and thank you.